Welcome to the Emerging Professional series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Ledgers, Leadership and Life Lessons. We have with us Bhawana Joshi, Senior Manager, Business and Finance at Stealth Group, a chartered accountant with over a decade of experience across Microsoft, Luthra and leading advisory firms. From statutory audits and forensic accounting to strategic financial reporting and IT audits, Bhavna has not only mastered numbers but also the art of aligning finance with business purpose. So let's welcome Bhavna to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Virani, for
Yeah,
such a,
let me
such
explain
a
you.
kind introduction.
Yeah, so there are three rounds, Bhavna: professional journey, personal journey, and a surprise rapid fire where you will be in the hot seat. So
Okay.
let's begin. Friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation Legal Tech Evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. We help law firms with corporate legal, startups, SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So my first question, Bhavna, how has your journey shaped up and what are the key defining moments you had?
Okay. So the journey so far has been very overwhelming, but at the same time, it is with a lot of learnings in various important milestones of the career and personal life. Started from a humble family of defense. We come from a defense background, and after that, father fought the Kargil War. And when he was fighting Kargil, we were in our boats, me and my sister. I was actually not pre-boats before that. I was in ninth standard, and I was like, okay, how we are going to move ahead. And then yeah, that was a phase, and from there till here, these overall 25 years has been an amazing experience overall in terms of learning challenges, patience, and meeting, fighting every day to meet the objectives, which with the broader objective we want to work. So yeah, it's been always a learning journey so far, and a great journey.
Wow. So, Bhavana, finance is often seen as rigid, but your journey has hints at creativity in structure. So, how do you innovate within compliance driven roles?
Okay. So the first thing you said, finance is seen as rigid. I won't call it rigid. I see finance as very disciplined. Like you cannot do haphazard with the due dates. You cannot do, miss with the due dates. So that's if I would like to kindly call it something which is very disciplined. And similarly is compliance also in organizations, where we have to make sure that the policies, procedures, processes which are laid down by the companies to meet the broader objectives ultimately to back the statutory due dates is always very from outside it is always seen as very rigid or very disciplined, but if we go in a deeper level deep, we try to get to know that this is something which every organization should do to understand that how uh, how risks are to be managed, how smooth processes can function to make sure that sales or any other function which are the cores drive to their excellence. So yeah, I agree to the fact that it is rigid, but on the other side, it is it helps in making it more disciplined for any business or for a professional also. So I have always seen compliance as a very uh, what I can say is always helped various other functions also, the all other main sales functions, business marketing functions. It has always helped other functions to work smoothly.
So, Bhavana, how has your experience been handling cross functional collaboration between finance and other departments like sales, HR?
Mm. Okay, so coordination mm, is the key, if I have to say, in finance. So finance is a function which is not maintaining its own P&L. When I'm saying own P&L, not just the company's P&L, but the P&L of the entire functions, be it five functions or where we say a startup or an MSME, which broadly starts with HR, finance, marketing, sales. But if you multiply this with bigger organization, they also have the core functions similar to that with other further buckets to it. And I'll take you back to the previous question where you talked about compliance as rigid. So this, if there are processes, it has always helped in coordination with various functions, various sub functions very smoothly, because there are already laid out frameworks where we can reach out to the team. So it has always been my journey so far. When I've worked with Microsoft, it was very smooth back then, because they're very compliant and bullish on processes, frameworks, trainings. But when it comes to MSME and consulting firms, they take it a little bit on a down. I can say they are a little bit flexible on it, or not very bullish on it. But yeah, things are slowly and gradually moving towards more compliant way.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about your forensic accounting work. What's a memorable moment where your audit uncovered something a game changing?
Well, game changing. I don't know, it is game changing, but yeah, it was definitely changing on financial numbers for the company for which we did the forensic. It was basically for a commercial bank, and it came out from a normal audit, the statutory audits which we normally do for banks. And during when bank audits happen, typically it is the time frame is very limited. The tat is for a week there, and in a week's time you cannot actually perform a forensics. But then during the statutory audit, we got this opportunity to do a further leg of forensic, and it was an amazing journey. As I said, forensic is actually getting into beyond the audit. It is you have to think like uh, a person who has done the crime, a criminal thought process, a person who is finding the gaps, and you have to think like an auditor. But it is always more from the criminal perspective. You should have the ability to think. And a course introduced by ICAI called Forensic Accounting and Fraud Detection it is actually a comprehensive course. What I can say about it is that, yeah, it can give you a sense of starting into forensic. But if you really want to explore forensic into deep dive, you should join a forensic organization, which is like, there are organizations currently, Alvazir and Marshall, who are very well doing into forensics. So my experience into forensics was limited, but yeah, it really helped me in kind of open an area of an assignment of forensics largely. Yeah.
Wow. So, Bhavana, you have worked with massive financial portfolio and high stakes audits. What's
Yeah.
one decision making moment that really tested your instincts as a leader?
Okay. As a leader. Uh, so testing my instinct as a leader, you meant to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Like instincts in the sense like my leadership quality, you want to understand, if I have understood correctly?
Yeah, leadership means, uh, yeah, your leadership qualities means how did you navigate those challenge?
All right. So leadership qualities in our day-to-day life also we see when you are um, so I'm somebody who's less of managing people, but more of getting things done by myself at the times when it is getting stuck. So, and how to perform well in pressure. So normally, typically when we go for audits, these are, as I said, sometimes you have to really stretch and go beyond the checklist, laid down checklist, to really identify that your observations are properly penned down to make sure that the partner is giving a remark which is well expressed. What is the business position is being conveyed in the report also. So in that scenario, the leadership qualities come into play, where you are leading the team, where you're leading the assignments, and making sure that team is able to perform groundly, like their paperwork, their documentation is completely backed up by what has been marked in the report. So in that scenarios, you have to really get into those nitty gritties of the whole assignment. So leadership qualities are being seen. I think I was able to deliver, successfully those assignments, because whenever we have to go for a financial performance meetings, and I was leading back then, in various assignments, I always look that if I have done it well, my team has done it well, we are able to, put the numbers well in the balance sheets of the company. So yeah, leadership always is with the team. It is less of less of managing, but more of operations. To my knowledge, this is what I have done so far. That more into
Wow.
operations.
So, Bhavana, you have worked across different companies, like global global setups, then other companies, now at Stealth. So, what difference did you see in the work culture?
Work culture. The very first thing I see is the global organizations I see is very process driven. They are 100% process driven, I say. When I'm saying 100% process driven, their localization factor has still not come into play. What are their global processes? Are processes across the globe, be it Asia, be it USA, be it Europe, be it any other continent. Whereas how I see, an Indian organization or an MSME, they are still localized. They don't have those processes which are globally adopted, which can be globally adopted. Because I always have this question in my mind, which I'm still yet to figuring it out, that why a US organization, a small company, has become globally, has made its presence globally. But in India, if I see a Reliance or any other organization, which is a family driven organization, because largely 90% of the businesses in India are family driven, are not still able to make a global presence. So the reason, to my limited understanding so far, is that because we don't maybe we don't really open up that well in terms of businesses, in terms of processes, to begin with. And I think that is the game changer. If you start building up processes globally, which are acceptable globally, that makes a big difference. I think that will help us, our organizations, also to make its global presence. And ultimately, what best can a professional see that its own country's companies are making a global presence? At least in the domain we work in, we have seen that very closely.
Wow. So, with expertise in IND-AS, IFRS, US GAAP, how do you stay updated in such a fast evolving regulatory environment?
Okay. So to stay updated, we have three, four, like I follow three, four steps, and even the institute, ICAI, the mother body, has laid down certain calendars and programs. The first is CPERs, which we call Continued Professional Excellent Programs, which every practicing chartered accountant, even a non-practicing chartered accountant, are supposed to do these CPERs, which are basically, upgrading yourself with the changes which has happened, all the accounting, be it from the accounting perspective, taxation perspective, audit perspective, international taxation. One part is that, and that happens on every, I think, fortnightly. The sessions are being conducted, and it is conducted through various study circles across India. Yeah, study circles. Second medium is there are magazines which institutes has as monthly newsletters which they publish, staying updated with those newsletters. Third is their self-study mode options which the institute has given us, and largely by and large, fourth is those sessions which we attend uh, due to various conferences. So these are the mediums which, as a professional, I adopt to stay updated and relevant.
Wow. So, Bhavana, who has influenced you professionally and personally, and what were the key learnings?
Okay. Who has influenced me? I think so we all get influenced first, I think, by our closer circle. And with me, it is always my family. Within the family, I have seen my father, I've seen my mother, from where they've started their journey, and how they have built with slowly and steadily, step by step, and that their perseverance. So I look up to them. I look up to their patience. I look up to their trust they have bestowed on us. So these are the small factors. If I have to say that these are the small things, but then they play a major role in terms of shaping you as a person and as a professional also. Like how do you like to see things? So from this perspective, of course, my father and mother, and professionally, of course, there are every day we meet seniors, we meet juniors, we learn from them. So something or the other we take up from them as a learning. That their flexibility, because flexibility we do not see from coming from parents, but then we see flexibility in our normal day-to-day work life. From even from a senior, if you see the flexibility, you appreciate the habits, and at least I try to inculcate that within me, that as one progresses in life, your flexibility should not be less, it should be more, even more and more. So yeah, these are
Wow.
my inspirations for day to day.
So, Bhavana, how has AI impacted the world of numbers?
Okay. AI impact in world of numbers is always there. It was not now new, or not now. It has always been there since Excel has been introduced in finance and accounts. It has always been there, because how I see AI is like an Excel is also an AI, a basic version of AI. And for finance, lately what we have seen is that it has AI has come into the picture of doing sampling, data sampling, and there are various dashboards and which has come into play, which is able to segregate larger data sets where Excel doesn't, or Excel fails, if I may say so. Although I don't see Excel failing ever, it will always be the breadth of a finance professional. But then, yeah, there are various power tools which has come into play. But to a larger extent, how I see AI is that it has helped in reducing the voluminous work and getting into more strategical work for a professional like a chartered accountant, where they can really focus upon the strategic work. When I'm saying strategic work, it includes, forming an opinion about certain points, and analyzing the balance sheet from different perspectives, where AI, at least the AI which we are using, Chat GPT and the Open AIs, which are little, limited to that particular knowledge process, has helped a lot, in terms of saving our voluminous data fetching work.
Wow. So, my last question, what advice would you give to women entering finance today, especially those aspiring in leadership roles in core finance?
So leadership in core finance for females, you meant to say. If,
Yes.
okay, so they have already made their presence in leadership. If even in our not in our fraternity only, other fraternities also there are leaders, female leaders which are leading their mark. But of course, if you see the numbers, it is still the minority. If I may talk about our institute only, the enrollment of females is almost 51%. If I have to say that about 8 lakh students are enrolled today, so around 4 lakhs must be female students. But when the ratio, you know, uh, rotates and churns out into professionals, then also the ratio remains probably 30/70. It's like that, or 35/65 is the ratio. But yeah, when it comes to getting into the role of a professional and leading to the leadership role, of course, that ratio reduces. And I'm very hopeful that we should be able to see more leaders in form of uh, female gender, though it should not be gender based. We should be working gender without any biases, but of course there are biases. We cannot ignore those real life biases which are there. So I would always love to see females leaders coming up into forefront and paving the path for the the younger professionals and making it more structured, making it more powerful for them, uh, a solid platform. So yes, the platform is there. There are females leaders, but the number is less, and I would like to see it more.
Okay. So let's go to next round and understand Bhavna as a person. Bits and pieces you have shared about your father being in the army. Tell us about your family and formative years in a total picture.
Okay, so my formative years. So we had three siblings, and I've already told about my dad. Actually, my grandfather was also from defense, and we come from a
Mm,
very small town in Uttarakhand called Rani Khet, and it's a very beautiful place, but with limited amenities back then. And so he shifted. He joined army, and after joining army, he shifted to different places. And my formative years were also largely, up until till ninth, 10th, we were moving every 3 years, different places. We were to Punjab, Tibri, and there were other all the cantonment areas of north and some part of east we touched. And yeah, the formative years were like losing friends after every 3 year was actually bad. You feel, but then if I high insight, if I see it today, like if somebody get to move every 3 years, maybe that is a different experience. Or back then it was a little bit uh, off. And yeah, but then it has that experience, that formative experience only has taught us that you have to be mobile, you have to be flexible. And I did my schooling from army public school, and uh,
mm,
teachers were very strict then. Back then, till date, also, army has its own discipline of making a leader, shaping a leader. Then joined Delhi University, Metri College. Was very active into debating, and actually, my 3 years in college were exclusively for extracurricular activity of debates, and won the Best Speaker of the Year award. And especially the topics which really touched me back then was about Panchayati Raj, females participation into Panchayati Raj, how IT is a panacea for the global problems, because IT was starting then, 2006 7 was the period. So yeah, my formative years were always like a ladder up, and teaching every day, or how to keep your thoughts in an organized manner, openly speak up, or if something is making you worry. And during that phase only, there was a phase of journalism back then, that yeah, somebody suggested you should go for journalism, because you do so well into debates and all. You are so good into interjecting, though I laugh today on that. But then, yeah, I was having a reading habit of strongly into economic times back then, and reading those
mm,
financial numbers and balance sheets which used to get printed in the economic times has shifted my, thought process. Okay, let's now what after graduation, what's next, either MBA or a CA. So, yeah, everybody, if you asked 100 people, though I didn't ask, if you had asked 100 people just to give a number, they say it's very hard to crack CA, they should go for MBA. But I always work like an opposite way. Let's try this.
mm,
So I did that, and luckily, if I say, my hard work and my even my best of the best journeys in terms of performing well was in this phase of CA only, because it's a journey itself. If the way I have seen it, and it has. So yeah, I'm here now in front of you, and I know the answer has been a little bit lengthy, but again, it was. I can go on and on. The journey is very
it's
cherishing.
all right. It's all right. Coffee is all about going in memories down the lane, past, present, and future. So future questions are
Okay.
coming. So what's one habit or ritual that you never skip, no matter how packed your schedule is?
Habit. So my habits, if I say reading paper is one of the habits which I have never skipped, and rising early are the two habits which mm, I can say that because that has been the habit in the family, and that I have uh, so far I'm following that ritual.
Wow.
Which yeah.
So during the research, we came across your interest in journaling and meditation. How did
Yes.
that start, and what role does it play in your daily life?
So journaling, as I said, reading was always uh, what I can say is very calming to me, but at the same time very learning also. As they say that knowledge is always, if you see the universe, their knowledge is unlimited also, but at the same time it is limited. But how you wanted to make use of that knowledge is based on reading papers and understanding what is going on, how how it can help you, not maybe outrightly, but maybe in your future journeys, and how you can develop it as a skill. So these habits of reading has always been there, and it's not just papers. I have different genres of books in my. So lately I'm reading this, I can say, the interpretation of dreams. So this is a famous Sigmund Freud. You must have heard of psychiatrist.
Mhm.
So it's a
Yeah.
famous. So I'm reading that. So I pick up something and I start reading it.
Wow. So, Bhavna, suppose you had 1 week away from work, like a zero work. What would you do and why?
A week. Uh, Sorry, I just skipped something
Yeah,
in this
I'll
question.
repeat. If you had, suppose you had 1 week, zero work, away from work,
All right,
what would you do
zero work.
and why?
Okay, so I'll go for hiking maybe. I'll hike a lot, and yes, this is I always because I have very less time to explore these adventurous activities. So I'll go look out for some well mountains and go for hiking.
Wow. So, in your hiking journeys, which places have you done? And if
I
any
have
plans for 2025, where would you go?
okay, so I'll be very honest. I have covered very limited. That's why I'm saying if 1 week zero work, I'll try to cover as much as possible. Though I have tried doing it, of course in Uttarakhand only, but and some part of Himachal I have touched in terms of hiking. But I wanted to explore more in India and outside India, the hikes, the various hikes.
Wow. Bhavna, if
Yes,
your friends had to describe you, what in 3 words, what would be?
3 words describing me. Um Maybe I don't know, maybe very disciplined, disciplined. Yes.
So, what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
My plans for 2025 is to become a well professional sales excellence leader. That is one part which I wanted to explore. uh, Being very good into numbers as a professional, but how these days these functional leaders roles are being shaped in the way that how it is ultimately impacting the above lines of a P&L. So I would like to see myself as a sales excellence leader maybe in 2025 and going onwards as well.
Wow. So, my last one is a googly one. Describe Bhavna in one line.
Okay. Uh, uh, in one line, as I said, maybe you be disciplined. I can say that's what I can
Then that
think
was
of.
uh, your friends think about you. What do you
How I
think
think
of
about
yourself?
myself. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, I think of myself as a very joyful and a happy person, maybe. Yeah, like that. Never thought of
Wow.
it like this.
So that's why Coffee is a little different. We
But thank
covered
you.
your
Yeah.
professional,
Yeah. Yeah. You
personal
helped.
journey and in fun ways. And yeah, now one more fun round is there. So enjoy
Okay.
that. So let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Your go-to comfort food.
Go to comfort food is idli.
Excel or PowerPoint.
Excel always.
Balance sheet or profit and loss.
Both. Both plays its own importance.
I know.
Both plays its
Cook
own importance.
or order in.
Sorry?
Cook a meal or you order something out from outside.
Cook. Always. The first one.
Podcast or playlist while commuting.
Podcast.
Uh, you're a night owl or an early bird.
I am an early bird, but then I like to be a night owl also at times. At times. Like a Fridays or a Saturdays, I like to be a night owl.
Wow. Your favorite color.
Blue.
Best piece of advice received.
That you can do so well, so well, so well that keep on, just keep on doing it. From my 12th maths teacher, Mrinal ma'am, she was like a gem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Your dream travel place.
Mauritius.
Wow. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee.
Wow. Yeah, the coffee show. That's nice.
Yes, coffee.
So you did well. And here's your book, document signer,
Thank you.
which will be useful. You can have more details, which our team can share with you,
Sure.
different document signing solutions, but this is handy guide. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation getting Bhawana memory down the lane, past, present, and future. So, this is what a coffee speakers bring to the table. All those finance professionals who wants to enter high stakes audits, forensic accounting in the corporate world. Watch the episode where you'll get a lot of insights as Bhavna has been at MNC companies, SME in a journey. So we have got 450 coffee speakers inspiring from their journey and from personal, professional. And if you need featured like Bhavna, visit our website, the Emerging India Forum or LinkedIn page, or connect with the coffee speakers to invite you to have coffee conversations. So take care. We meet with
Yeah.
another
Thank you.
speaker.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Virat. It was
thank you.
lovely having conversation with you.